We're also streaming from the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and you can always find us, too, on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. And you can watch Good Things. We are on your computer or your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Today, we get to chat with Jeremy London. He's an actor. You may know him from his regular roles on Party of Five, maybe Seventh Heaven, or I'll Fly Away, a starring role in the 1995 comedy film Mallrats, or his notable supporting role in the Civil War epic Gods and Generals. But did you know he lives in Mississippi, and he's up to some pretty cool things here. So welcome, Jeremy.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing well, loving this weather. We had to re-coordinate your interview here on Good Things, our conversation, because of the snow and the ice. And now look at our day, Jeremy. It is so pleasant.
It's so bipolar. It's so bizarre. Did winter even happen?
For like a split second, yeah.
I think it kissed us and then left.
Well, just hang tight because this is our fall spring, what we call it here in Mississippi, and the winter will clap back in a couple of weeks.
I keep hearing this. My lady who's a native Mississippian, has warned me not to get too comfortable yet.
No, and then the summer will be here. But that leads me to Jeremy. How did you find your way to Mississippi to call us home?
Well, I was living in New Orleans, and I met a wonderful gentleman down on the coast named Scott Huberman, who has a comic book shop called 3 Alarm Comics in Ocean Springs, and he invited me to come sign autographs and stuff like that at his shop, and I fell in love with Ocean Springs. It's truly just a magical little place, and so beautiful. And everywhere that I've traveled in Mississippi, I've always been so impressed with how beautiful it is and how kind the people are and all of that. And so it was kind of a no-brainer. I just felt like I wanted to get out of Los Angeles. I'd already been living in New Orleans for a year, but we were about to have a baby, and it just didn't feel like the place that we really, truly wanted to have a baby there where we were living. And so it all just, the universe brought us here.
Well, that's cool. And it also brought your love of film to the South Mississippi. I saw where congratulations are in due for your sci-fi film, Interfere. So tell us about that. How did you sort of get this project off the ground and then utilize the backdrop of South Mississippi to shoot your film?
Sorry, my friend Tim Wall.
Okay.
He's the one that put it together, and he had done a short film of Interfere before. And so I got involved and got a lot of the actors in the movie are my students. I started an acting school called London Arts Acting School down on the coast, and we have done several movies. I've brought several movies here. We did Mississippi River Sharks, and we even did a movie that I wrote and directed called Monsters Anonymous, which is a short film that my students were in, and we just won Best Comedy Short at the Cannes Film Festival.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
And thank you, too, for picking Mississippi. I mean, it feels like our film industry is really booming. We've always had, good films to come here, but it feels like it's just kind of snowballing right now, and it's really sort of gearing up. From your perspective, being in the industry, maybe on the other side, not being a born and raised Mississippian, why do you think that Mississippi's having its moment when it comes to seeing more films and projects rush here to be shot?
Mississippi's not only a beautiful place to shoot, but there's tax incentives that make sense for filmmakers to come here that I implore anybody looking to make a movie to check into, because the tax incentives are incredible here. But also, the people here are genuinely excited to be making movies, and they love to help out. You get a lot of volunteers and stuff like that. It's just, you get all these things that in California you would have to pay for. And people volunteer here, so you get more bang for your buck. The people are nicer, and I haven't slowed down. I've shot, so I've worked consistently since I've been in Mississippi. I did a movie last year that just came out on Amazon that I've gotten the most critical acclaim of my life. A movie called Open that I implore everybody to please go check out on Amazon that we shot here in Mississippi. And I've shot several. I've got one called Bone Faced coming out that we shot down in Wiggins. And so I just love it here. I think the film market everybody needs to understand what we have here. You know, all of the infrastructure. There's talent. There's people that know what they're doing. The locations are incredible and very diverse. So,
well, you're giving the talent the opportunity to get a little coaching as well. So tell us about your School for Actors. Is this for young actors who may be interested in furthering their career or their craft, or is it for all ages?
I've taught anywhere from 4 years old to 94 years old.
So you're telling me there's still time, Jeremy? There's still time.
There's still time. I used to go to. I used to. I've got my alarm going off or something here. Sorry. I used to go to different states. I was in 5 states, and I would have to travel, and it was hard on me, and not difficult. It was difficult. But then COVID hit, and all of a sudden, I was introduced to the world of online, like Zoom calling and stuff like that. And so it actually opened the world up to me. And so now I can teach people from anywhere in the world online, and the classes are extremely personal, extremely effective, and it was kind of a blessing in disguise.
If someone is interested in that, Jeremy, I feel like we've got a lot of parents who listen to Good Things. They get real nervous about their kids wanting to be in the movie industry or the film industry.
They should. I highly I discourage it. I think that
I love your honesty.
I think it's a terrible thing for children to be subjected to, honestly. Kids need to be kids. It's putting them in the workforce. I just don't think that it's healthy.
Would you support them doing their community theater? Would you support them?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah. That's different. It's completely different. I think people that are going, kids especially, are going for movies and stuff like that. They want to be famous. They don't understand what comes with that. They also don't understand the heartbreak and the effort to get there, and the fact that 99.999% of the time you're going to be told no and you're going to fail. And that is damaging. Kids should not have to be subjected to that.
I agree. And I think it's cool, though, to hear that, and that you can encourage families, hey, if you've got a child who shows interest in being on stage, put them on stage, put them in your community theater, let them sort of, get the skills and also, have the experience, but still protect what you can't get back, which is your childhood. And then when you get older, if that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do, and go for it.
Absolutely. My sons have, my sons have expressed interest in being in movies. My youngest son is 9. He's been in a couple of 2 movies with me. He just had a great little part in a movie with me. But it's not something he pursues all the time. It's like if I have an opportunity and I can throw him in a movie, then he'll come, do it, and then he'll go home and be a kid again. He's not always just auditioning and taking headshots and pretending to be something. You know what I mean? Something that he does. 99% of the time, that's parents wanting their kids to be famous. The kids don't; they just want to be kids. I don't want my children to have to deal with what fame does to people, and B, I don't want them to have to deal with all of the negativity that comes along with it, the rejection and all that, before their brains are really wired to be able to handle that.
I couldn't agree more, Jeremy. As a mom of 2 young girls, I'm one with those. I think I would pull back, and then if they really want it, they'll figure it out when the time is right. Or like you said, the universe will find a way. How cool though that the universe found a way for your son to come and grow up here in Mississippi. That's probably a much better childhood than one in California or wherever else you probably were at.
My sons are, one lives in Florida, the other one lives in California, but they spend a lot of time here with me. So this is like their second home away from home, and they love it. But they're not. My oldest son, he's about to turn 17, Lyric. He's in Palm Springs, but he's not in Los Angeles.
Gotcha.
He's already expressing, that as he gets older and he graduates, he's about to be a senior. He's saying that he and his friends want to move to Los Angeles. And my first thing to him was like, "You're going to regret that, man. You have no idea what that entails."
Well, Dad, sometimes they need to go out and then come back, and so you can say, I told you so.
I would never clip his wings.
No, absolutely not. But there's always room for him to come home. And there's always room for more conversation. So, Jeremy, we're up against a hard break, and we will chat more coming up next. device. We're continuing our conversation with actor, director, and entrepreneur Jeremy London. He has found his home here in Mississippi and up to some good things. Jeremy, I got to know about this pepper jelly, though, because I have to admit, when I was going through and trying to do my homework, figuring out what are we up to right now, and I saw this London's Most Wanted pepper jelly, I was like, well, I didn't see this coming, but that's okay. That's probably why it works well. So how did this come?
You think you didn't see it coming?
Well, how did you?
Last thing I ever thought I'd be doing.
So how did that happen?
Well, whenever COVID hit, my lady was stuck at home with me all day, and we weren't going to be stuck inside. So we started turning our backyard into a garden, and it just blossomed and bloomed and turned into a food forest. And we had way too much food, way too many peppers. We didn't know what to do with the peppers especially. The rest of it we were able to, give to friends and cook with and use. But the peppers, I didn't know what to do with, and so I did a bunch of research, and I found out there's something called pepper jelly that people make here in Mississippi, apparently. And so I checked it out. I made some, and it was some of the best-tasting stuff I'd ever made in my entire life. I messed around for about a month and created my own recipe, and we started selling it, and it has been quite the hit. It is called London's Most Wanted. We've got Cowboy and Outlaw. Our Cowboy is sweet. It's just our sweet peppers with no heat, and the Outlaw has heat, but it's tolerable. Now we have Special Edition Outlaw that will blow your socks off, though. It is super, super, super hot, but it is all so good that it's hard to stop eating once you start. It's quite incredible.
Are you still growing the peppers in your backyard, or have you moved on to maybe a bigger?
Whenever the weather allows us to. The weather has been so cruel to anybody with a garden the last couple of years that it's been very difficult.
Yes.
Luckily, we've been able to, we were able to stock up and freeze tons of them, and we also reach out to local farmers that have better systems than we do, and that kind of stuff. So we try to anything that we make, we use locally grown peppers, regardless, and it's all a Mississippi product. We put some of our garden into every single jar. I make it, I jar it, I label it, and we ship it all ourselves. And people really love it.
Please tell me, what was the first time that you had a softened block of cream cheese, and then you poured it over it, and then you used either a wheat thin or some form of cracker to try it?
Yeah, it was. I literally looked at my lady and Leslie, and I said, "We're making pepper jelly." She said, "You're out." She said, "You're out of your mind." I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "This is gold."
Yes.
This is the best tasting stuff I've ever tried. The combination, the idea of peppers and sweet to me made no sense at all. In my brain, I had already concocted it was going to be disgusting.
Mm-hmm. But it's not. We love it.
Oh, it's so delicious. And you know what the best thing is right there in Drew, where we're going to be doing this wonderful Mardi Gras parade that I'm so honored to be a part of. I had a grandma in her late 80s or 90s tell me, she tried it, and she said, of all in her whole life, she's grown up here in Mississippi, she said it's the best pepper jelly she's ever had. And that was all I needed.
That is quite the compliment there, Jeremy.
You can find us on Etsy at London's Most Wanted, by the way.
All right. We'll make sure that we get that link out, too.
And on Facebook as well. But Etsy's the best place to find us.
All right, so we're going to be able to find you coming up February the 10th, being the Grand Marshal for the Stafford's Lawnmower Mardi Gras Parade. I have to say, Jeremy, you got big shoes to fill. I was the Grand Marshal last year, so just letting you know.
Well, I'm honored to follow you.
In advance that it's going to be the best time of your life. But I have to know, how did you and Stafford Sheridan meet? He's a good friend of the show here, and he's just an all-around great Mississippian. So how did you guys connect?
I don't even remember. I've became friends with Stafford, I think, over, I don't know if it was Twitter or Facebook or something first, and we met up and we just hit it off. It's been years now, though. He and I have been buddies for a long time, and he's just, what a stand-up, wonderful human.
Well, he has definitely grown this thing from nothing there in Drew, bringing the joy of Mardi Gras to the Mississippi Delta. You get to get your ATV, your lawnmower, whatever's not traditional, and then decorate it, and then they parade through town and obviously have their wonderful after party.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's just so clever and different, and it breaks the mold, and it's also so just right up the alley for what I would expect from Stafford. He's great.
And I know he told me it's free, and if folks still want to get involved and have ATVs or side-by-sides or lawnmowers or whatever to come out, just be there at 4:30 in Drew, and then you can be part of the parade. It's something you will always remember. They throw moon pies as part of the two that they... Now,
I had no idea. I love all this stuff. This is so great.
So when you've moved to New Orleans, I know you lived there before moving here to Mississippi, did you get a taste of real Mardi Gras, or have you kind of seen that Mississippi?
I've never been a part of actual Mardi Gras. I was the Grand Marshal with David Faustino in a Mardi Gras parade in Baton Rouge one time, like 15 years ago. But I've never done the Mardi Gras thing because I cannot stand drunk people. I cannot stand being around drunk people, and I can't stand big crowds. It's not. I don't consider that fun at all. But it does look like something I would have enjoyed if I wasn't 51 years old.
Well, I think then the lawnmower one's going to be right up your alley because
Perfect.
It's a smaller crowd.
My speed.
And Mississippians can hide their drunk a little bit better than. Well, you know what I mean. I was going to say if you were into that, then you'd need to stick around for the Hal and Mouse St. Patty's Day parade that would be coming up in March. But you may want to watch that one from a distance if crowds and things aren't necessarily.
I usually just leave earlier than everybody else. I don't mind. And when I say I don't drink, I'm saying that I'm.
No, I get it. Yeah.
I don't drink, and so whenever you don't drink, being around that is a little much.
Have you had king cake yet?
I have, and I love it.
When you moved to Mississippi, Jeremy, what was I know your pepper jelly, London's Most Wanted, obviously, is one Mississippi delicacy that you've enjoyed. What other foods or just cultural things have you just, taken in as your own now? Living here?
Well, my lady and her sons and my stepsons, and we all love crawfish so much. I'm such a crawfish fiend, but I love everything about I grew up in Oklahoma and Texas, so there was Southern food, but it wasn't like Mississippi. Here, it's got soul and I don't know, it's just different. Everything about it's just so good here. Probably not good for me, but it's so good.
Hey, now, we can't be great at everything. We're good at the cooking. Hey, we're not really good at the exercising piece to that or whatever. But, hey, we're happy here. Let's just put it.
Yeah, that's what matters, really.
So you got any other projects coming up in film or otherwise that may be shooting here in Mississippi? I want you to round back, too, as we come into the weekend of things we could stream or support that maybe the work you've done.
I hope so. I hope to. I should have some stuff to announce later on this year, but nothing as of right now. I've got 2 films that shoot in Illinois, and I just booked a film that shoots in New Orleans yesterday. And so some things, but nothing in Mississippi yet. But the crew that I make movies with here in Mississippi, we usually wind up doing a couple a year. And so it's still so early in the year that I predict we'll be doing another one by the end of the year. But as of right now, you can check out our movie Open on Amazon, and look out for one called Boneface that we shot last summer in Wiggins. It's like a thriller in the woods killer kind of movie, but it's really, really, really well done.
Well, good deal. Well, congratulations. Welcome to Mississippi, Jeremy. If you ever want to pop in and say hi or have anything to share, the door's always open. Go have you a ball at the Stafford's Lawnmower Mardi Gras Parade. Again, that's February the 10th that you will be there. It's open to anybody listening that would like to go. You're going to have the time of your life.
I sure appreciate you having me, and I look forward to it.
All righty. There you go. How cool is that? You never know who may make Mississippi home. You may never know who you'll run into, but we want to keep this our best kept secret. We don't want too many folks coming in and sharing our space. Oh, look at me not being kind. This is good things. But this is also Friday, so we got Tanya coming up next with movies.